everyone. Welcome back to English as a Second Language. I'm David, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. It's always such a pleasure to spend time with you, helping you improve your English while talking about topics that actually matter in your life. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you've been listening for a while, thank you for coming back. Today's episode is part of our career series where we explore different aspects of working life and professional development. These episodes are designed to help you not just learn English, but also understand the world of work better, especially if you're thinking about building a career in an English-speaking country. So what are we talking about today? Well, I've got a really fascinating topic for you. We're going to explore best jobs for the future. What careers are growing? And trust me, this is information that could really help you make some important decisions about your future. Oh, and before we dive in, I want to let you know that at the end of today's episode, we'll review some really useful vocabulary that we'll use throughout our conversation. These are words and phrases that will help you talk about careers and job markets like a native speaker. So make sure you stick around for that. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what you should study or what career you should choose? Maybe you're thinking about changing jobs, or perhaps you're helping your children decide what to study in university. These are big questions, aren't they? And in today's rapidly changing world, it's getting harder and harder to know which careers will still be important in 10 or 20 years. I was talking to my neighbor Sarah last week, and she told me something that really made me think. She said, "David, my daughter is 16 and she has no idea what she wants to do with her life. Half the jobs that exist today didn't exist when I was her age. How can we help her choose something that will still be relevant when she graduates from university?" That's such a good point, isn't it? The world is changing so fast. Technology is advancing, society is evolving, and the job market is transforming in ways that our parents never could have imagined. Some jobs that were very popular 20 years ago are disappearing while completely new types of jobs are being created every day. But here's the thing, and this is what I want to share with you today. While change can feel scary, it also creates incredible opportunities. If you know which careers are growing, if you understand the trends that are shaping the future of work, you can make smart choices about your education and your career path. So let's dive into this together. I'm going to share with you some of the most promising career areas for the future, and I'll explain why these jobs are growing and what makes them special. By the end of our conversation, you'll have a much clearer picture of where the opportunities are. Let's start with something that probably won't surprise you: technology jobs. But I'm not just talking about computer programming, although that's certainly important. The technology sector is expanding in ways that create opportunities for all kinds of people with different skills and interests. One area that's absolutely booming is cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity means protecting computer systems and networks from attacks or unauthorized access. As more and more of our lives move online, our banking, our shopping, our work, our social connections, companies and governments need people who can keep all of this information safe. What I find interesting about cybersecurity is that it's not just for computer experts. Yes, you need some technical knowledge, but you also need people who can think like criminals, people who can communicate with non-technical staff, people who can create policies and procedures. It's a field where you can combine technical skills with creativity and problem solving. And here's the best part: cybersecurity professionals are in high demand all over the world. Whether you're in New York, London, Tokyo, or Sao Paulo, companies need cybersecurity experts. It's one of those truly global careers. Another technology area that's growing rapidly is artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now, I know these terms might sound intimidating, but let me explain them in simple terms. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is about creating computer systems that can do tasks that usually require human intelligence, things like recognizing voices, understanding language, or making decisions. Machine learning is a part of AI where computers learn to do things better by analyzing lots of data. For example, when Netflix recommends movies you might like, or when your phone recognizes your face to unlock, that's machine learning in action. Now, you might think, David, I'm not a computer scientist. This isn't for me. But here's what's interesting. The AI industry needs all kinds of people. They need people who understand how AI affects society, people who can explain AI to regular customers, people who can make sure AI systems are fair and ethical. They need teachers to train people how to use AI tools, and they need managers to lead AI projects. Let me tell you about another growing field that might surprise you: healthcare technology. This is where healthcare meets technology, and it's creating some really exciting opportunities. Think about it. We have an aging population in many countries, which means more people need healthcare. At the same time, technology is making it possible to provide healthcare in new ways. We have telemedicine, where doctors can see patients through video calls. We have wearable devices that can monitor your health throughout the day. We have apps that can help people manage chronic conditions like diabetes or heart disease. This creates demand for people who understand both healthcare and technology. Maybe you're a nurse who learns to use new medical devices. Maybe you're a software developer who specializes in healthcare applications. Maybe you're a data analyst who helps hospitals run more efficiently. What's great about healthcare technology is that it's meaningful work. You're not just making money, you're helping people live healthier, longer lives. And because healthcare is such a fundamental need, these jobs are likely to be stable and well-paying. Now let's talk about something that might seem completely different: green jobs. These are careers related to environmental protection and sustainability. And let me tell you, this is one of the fastest growing areas in the job market. Governments around the world are investing heavily in renewable energy, solar power, wind power, and other clean energy sources. Companies are trying to reduce their environmental impact. Consumers are demanding more sustainable products. All of this creates jobs. Some of these jobs are highly technical, like engineers who design solar panels or wind turbines, but many green jobs are accessible to people with different educational backgrounds. There are sales representatives who sell renewable energy systems. There are technicians who install and maintain solar panels. There are consultants who help companies become more environmentally friendly. I have a friend named Miguel who used to work in traditional construction. 3 years ago, he took a short course in solar panel installation. Now he runs his own business, installing solar systems for homes and small businesses. He told me, David, I wish I had made this change earlier. The demand is incredible, the pay is good, and I feel like I'm making a positive difference in the world. That's the thing about green jobs. They often combine good career prospects with a sense of purpose. You're building a career while helping to protect the environment for future generations. And let me tell you about another area that's growing rapidly: data analysis. We live in what people call the data age. Every time you use your phone, shop online, or even walk through a city with security cameras, you're generating data. Companies and organizations have access to enormous amounts of information, but they need people who can make sense of it all. Data analysts look at all this information and find patterns, trends, and insights that help organizations make better decisions. For example, a data analyst might help a retail company understand which products are selling well and why, or they might help a hospital identify ways to reduce waiting times for patients. What I like about data analysis is that it's a skill you can apply in almost any industry. Every company, every government agency, every nonprofit organization needs people who can work with data, and you don't necessarily need a computer science degree to get started. Many successful data analysts come from backgrounds in business, psychology, economics, or even liberal arts. The key is learning how to use data analysis tools and developing the ability to think critically about information. These are skills you can learn through online courses, boot camps, or even self-study. Now, let's talk about something that technology can't replace: human care and personal services. While robots and artificial intelligence are taking over many tasks, there are some jobs that will always need a human touch. Elder care is a huge growth area. As populations age in many countries, there's increasing demand for people who can provide care and support for older adults. This includes not just medical care, but also companionship, help with daily activities, and emotional support. Mental health services are also growing rapidly. More and more people are recognizing the importance of mental health, and there's increasing demand for counselors, therapists, and other mental health professionals. Personal fitness and wellness is another area where human interaction is irreplaceable. People want personal trainers, nutritionists, and wellness coaches who can provide customized advice and motivation. What's interesting about these careers is that they often require a combination of technical knowledge and interpersonal skills. You need to understand your field, whether that's geriatric care, psychology, or fitness science, but you also need to be able to connect with people, communicate effectively, and provide emotional support. Let me share something important about all these growing careers. They have something in common. They all require continuous learning. The world is changing so fast that the skills you learn today might need to be updated in a few years. But this isn't something to be afraid of. It's actually exciting. The key is to develop what we call learning agility, the ability to quickly learn new skills and adapt to change. This is actually one of the most valuable skills you can have in today's job market. Employers love people who are curious, who enjoy learning new things, and who can adapt when circumstances change. This is particularly important for English learners like yourself. The fact that you're learning English shows that you already have this learning agility. You're already demonstrating that you can tackle new challenges and acquire new skills. This puts you at a real advantage in the job market. Another thing that many of these growing careers have in common is that they benefit from diverse perspectives. Companies are realizing that having employees from different cultural backgrounds with different languages and different ways of thinking actually makes them stronger and more innovative. So if you're learning English as a second language, don't think of your multilingual abilities as just a nice bonus. They're actually a significant professional asset. In our globalized world, companies need people who can communicate across cultures, who understand different markets, and who can bring fresh perspectives to problem solving. I want to tell you about one more area that's growing rapidly: creative and content creation jobs. This might seem surprising in an age of artificial intelligence, but human creativity is actually becoming more valuable, not less. Think about all of the content we consume every day: videos, podcasts, social media posts, websites, advertisements. All of this content needs to be created by people who understand human emotions, cultural nuances, and effective communication. The rise of social media and digital marketing has created entirely new types of jobs: social media managers, content creators, digital marketers, user experience designers. These are all careers that barely existed 20 years ago, but now they're in high demand. What's great about many of these jobs is that they're often flexible and location independent. You can work for companies anywhere in the world, as long as you have an internet connection and the right skills. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking: David, this all sounds great, but how do I actually get started? How do I move from where I am now to one of these growing careers? That's a great question, and I want to give you some practical advice. First, remember that you don't have to make dramatic changes overnight. You can start by learning about these fields in your spare time, take online courses, read industry publications, join professional groups on social media. Second, look for ways to gain experience, even if it's just volunteering or working on personal projects. If you're interested in data analysis, start by analyzing data from your own life or your community. If you're interested in digital marketing, offer to help local businesses with their social media. Third, don't be afraid to start small. Many successful professionals in these growing fields started with entry-level positions or career changes later in life. What matters is that you're willing to learn and grow. Finally, remember that networking is incredibly important. Connect with people who work in fields that interest you, ask questions, seek advice, and let people know about your interests and goals. You'd be surprised how willing people are to help someone who shows genuine interest and enthusiasm. Before we wrap up today, let me ask you a few questions to help you think about what we've discussed. First, which of the growing career areas we talked about interests you most? Was it technology, healthcare, green jobs, data analysis, human services, or creative fields? Second, what skills do you already have that might be valuable in these growing careers? Remember, you don't need to start from zero. Think about your current experience, your language skills, your cultural background, and your personal interests. Third, what's one small step you could take this week to learn more about a career that interests you? Maybe it's watching a YouTube video, reading an article, or reaching out to someone who works in that field. Fourth, how could your English learning journey help you in these growing careers? Think about the determination, the learning agility, and the global perspective that you're developing. And finally, what excites you most about the future of work? Despite all the changes and challenges, are there aspects of these trends that make you optimistic about your career prospects? I hope today's conversation has given you some valuable insights into the careers that are growing and thriving in our changing world. Remember, change creates opportunities, and the fact that you're investing in your English skills puts you in a great position to take advantage of these opportunities. The most important thing to remember is that the future belongs to people who are willing to learn, adapt, and grow. You're already demonstrating these qualities by listening to this podcast and working on your English. That's something to be proud of. As we talked about today, the jobs of the future, whether they're in technology, healthcare, sustainability, data analysis, human services, or creative fields, all value the kinds of skills that you're developing as an English learner: critical thinking, communication, cultural awareness, and the ability to learn continuously. These are the skills that will serve you well in any career you choose. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in your potential. The future is full of possibilities, and you're preparing yourself to be part of it. Thank you so much for joining me today on English as a Second Language. I really hope this episode has been helpful and inspiring for you. Remember, we're here to support your English learning journey, and we're always exploring topics that matter to your life and career. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments which growing career area interests you most. I love hearing from you and learning about your goals and aspirations. Next week, we'll continue our career series with another topic that I think you'll find really valuable. Until then, keep practicing your English, keep exploring your interests, and keep believing in yourself. Take care, and I'll see you next time.